two Australians on the court. Rose is essentially a glorified Australian. She spends so much time there. And then Armaan's obviously playing, has played MLP Australia before. So these players are no strangers to each other. Danny is just a dynamic player. And George is one of the best doubles players in Australia. Then you got Armaan, who's this triple threat. And you got Rose, who's that triple threat as well.
The thing about you Aussies, I wouldn't call it cocky, but you guys have a certain air about yourselves on the pitch. And let me tell you, the moment the game is over, it's a completely different story. Where does that come from, mate?
I think, we've always been a really love to talk smack. You grow up when you're 2 or 3 years old and you can open your mouth and say your first words. The first thing you do is make fun of your siblings, then you make fun of your parents, and then you start making fun. You're hurting their feelings, you're talking smack, there's a bit of banter. There's usually some familiarity.
Upsets. Real Madrid getting smashed at home by Barcelona. Max Holloway in the UFC, first time he gets knocked out.
Danny, a former table tennis player growing up, a really, really high-level table tennis player in Australia, and she's transitioned those really soft hands, close to the body, to the great sport of pickleball.
Phenomenal stuff around the kitchen here. Just to remind you, you cannot step into the kitchen unless the ball is bound. That is the kitchen.
Out of all the Australian players you've seen, who's impressed you the most?
Well, whose mustache? It's just one man only. No, but I think it would have to be George. I think it's just his general demeanor, the way he behaves, the way he acts on and off the pitch. I got to interact with him a little bit yesterday at dinner. Who's your favorite?
Well, look, I love these two. I really do. I think George's mustache out of bugs, guys.
Get your protein in, buddy. Get your protein in.
Exactly. Bear Grylls would be proud. 5-all. This is very tense. This is very, very tense.
What? Yes! It's a growing sport, and as a sport as itself right now.
Honestly, that's the job ahead. It's probably something like number 10. AFL is number 1, Australian football. Then you've got rugby, and then you probably have cricket is probably next. Then it's really basketball, soccer, tennis, and then you start getting to the less popular sports but still popular, and pickleball's rising through there. I don't think it can ever get ahead of Australian football and rugby, but I do think it can potentially over the next 5 years be that number 3 or number 4 sport, and that'll come down to Yeah, exactly right. Look, the Socceroos are really popular when they're going well. We are not a soccer nation. We're not a European, South American soccer nation. When the Socceroos are going well, suddenly everyone has interest in soccer. But otherwise, there's enough soccer players, but it's not a soccer nation. Huge from Armaan there.
Been to this tournament, of course, it's being played for the first time. What are your first thoughts on how it's been organized and the athletes and the level of pickleball?
Look, I think the simple thought as a sport in some countries to, one of those prestigious sports, and you need to make it look prestigious. The second thing is what all the players say, the player experience. Second to none. The lounge and how they treat the players, how they elevate the players, the social media. There's a lot of bones here to turn this into a sport that people absolutely love.
I'm going to have to run down for the presentation, but I'm going to leave you in some very able hands. Sarthak will be taking over. My man's been ready, waiting as usual. You guys have a good one.
Point. 7-1.
Goes after it there, George Wall. One who's new to the sport should learn from all 4 of these players on court.
You just need to settle the nerves and not think about the overall result. It's very easy to skip ahead and be like, if we don't win this point, I'm not going to get into the 3rd set, and therefore we're going to lose the match. It's, what we try to say to our players is if you can play 1 or 2 points at a time, you're always going to be better off.
much easier opportunity to grab gold. Just keep it 1 point in the moment is what we've been.
Point. Time.
Come on, Danny!
Point.
Come on, Danny!
Here we go, 10-7, the amazing Australian duo.
Let's go!
Side out.
So let's go from Armaan and Roos. Armaan with the serve now.
Point.
That's a tough miss there. Like we said, it gets tight. We will have if we have a third set, but the golden point puts that extra bit of sizzle on the sausage, and you know we love to see that as well, because it's all about pressure and it's all about who can handle it. Like we've been talking about, the golden point adds that extra little touch.
Take us through. I've seen
Definitely here. You can see that Australia's a bit known for that as well. And they're on cue. On two. Here we go.
championship point to close it to grab gold. Who gets this one?
Come on, Danny!
Oh, wow. Watch Danny and George's reaction if they get there.
Come on, Danny!
Point. Game.
And there we have it. We have a third set.
Interestingly, a subdued reaction because George and Danny didn't really realize that it was a golden point.
They're sitting alone, enjoying it from an MPL perspective, cheering on the Aussies. Game's going to be up in lights. He does not want to miss out on that opportunity. I will say this. Saw me in the lift straight after the game and goes, "You owe your friends a bit of money, don't you?" He doesn't forget. He does not forget.
He loves proving people wrong. When the odds are stacked up against this man who wins it, in the decider in that singles, trailing 0-8, straight 11 straight points. How does he manage to do this? Before the match started, I highlighted it truly is worthy of a fight. I wanted that was top quality pickleball, but from an Indian perspective, like you asked me, Aditya and Armaan, that rivalry is here to stay for a very long time.
As far as I understand it, Aditya took the first 2 games they played, and now Armaan has won the last 3. I feel like these are the types of rivalries that, you know, every sport needs, and we've probably got it for at least 5 or 6 more years, if not more. They're on
Bhatia, Roos and Reek took the first 6 points. George and Danny came back, took the next 5. An Aussie commentator
coming back right now. They're going to win 3 points in a row, and it starts now, this massive comeback.
Second server.
Last night, some of the games, and you know, I say the sport needs colourful personalities. It also needs colourful commentators. Slow down sometimes. You need the commentators to bring the energy. So, very excited to see what you guys do at future tournaments held here. Handed players in Australia. You don't see that very often from her. Just don't let you have easy points. And that's one thing, you know, we try to tell all our players. You know, you might have all the talent in the world. If you cannot... Wow, the reason why we're here, you're exactly right.
Point.
There. All right, here we go. What can George and Danny do to stay in the game? They just need to get the serve back. And it's over. We have 2 out of 3 and 2 out of 2 for Rose.